So hello, welcome back to the channel. It's been a fucking long time since I've done a video like this. So it's kind of like a follow-up to the Digimon game collection video that I done a couple of years ago. But yeah, this is just basically gonna go through some of my collection of Digimon guidebooks. I've been at this for a little while. I've managed to gather a few, going from PS1 games, WonderSwan, all the way up to like the 3DS and Vita games. But yeah, let's look into it. So I'll start with Digimon World, because my favorite game. Guidebook is pretty shit. It's Prima Guide, so it's missing an awful lot of information. For example, if we go through the table of contents here, fucking pages are falling apart. So I bought these secondhand mostly. Some of them are brand new, but the older ones obviously will be secondhand, because fuck it, how else was I gonna get them? I don't think they're even available over in Europe. If they were not available anywhere local to me. So first error that I find in this, I don't want to point out errors here, I'm just pointing out stuff that's in these just for shits and giggles. If you look, there's actually no factorial telling this. I remember doing the fucking guide videos I was doing there, was last year I think, and there was fucking no factorial telling. I remember trying to find the guide for how to get Metal Mamemon and stuff, couldn't find it, and there's no, like, you'll see maps and stuff in the book. Factorial telling is shown nowhere in this. But outside of the fact for being a guidebook, fuck pages, I bought it for the fucking artwork. Like this stuff here, it looks so cool. If you see some of these little chibi pictures, which is really cool, it adds kind of complements the actual art direction from the game. Being that you see here, like, the Digimon are very chibi, you know, the design of them is a chibi design. So you have your maps, but if you skip along, you can find your Digivolution guides here at the back. It says required stats that you need for your different Digimon that you want to acquire. But unfortunately, as it says, incomplete guide, being Prima and all. If you come all the way back here, let's say we want to get someone like, I don't know, Phoenixmon, it doesn't give any information. It gives the stats that they'll have when you digivolve into them, but it will not give the information, like you see here, to get those Digimon. So it's a nice guide if you want to add it to the collection, but as far as fucking actual help, it's none. But like I says, nice having a collection. Next one I want to go through is sequel, Digimon World 2. So this is the Japanese one. The English one is ridiculously priced. Fucking, I don't know what the fuck, it's over 100 quid I think now to try and get that in euro. Same with Digimon World 3. I have no guide for World 3 yet, but yeah, just look through this. So this was pretty much the same concept as the other one, as you can see here, the chibi designs in it. Try and get the light please and not hit the camera. Focus. Yeah, there we go. So you can see, like, all the artwork still in that chibi format. You can see some artwork from the faces that you'd see when characters talk to you on screen, like see up here. You'd see that that's the full image of it, not pixelated. Also, coming in this nice little kind of a binder, so you have black and white there, it's all colour there, just kind of like keep the image looking nice on the front. But even though they're old, like, they haven't worn very badly. The other thing is, there's actually, with the Japanese one, there was a couple of different covers for this one for some reason. I don't know why, don't know if there's a difference. I'm gonna try track down a couple more, just kind of have them collecting, even for the artwork of them. But yeah, you can come back here, you see different Digimon, there's Digivolution guides in this as well, if I can find them. So you have your different Digivolution guides here, there are vaccines here, from over here, a couple of virus, and then over here, Udea, yeah, over here Udea then. Just shows how to get them, what requirements, so your Jogras points needed. I think it was Digivolve points over here. They got rid of that. For some reason, Jogras isn't seen as a term used over here, which I think Jogras sounds better than Digivolve. Some of the chibi artwork here from the models. It's also like little bits of this, like some artwork, those sketches thrown in the middle of the books, which I think looks fucking unreal. It's one of the reasons I miss manuals in games, just looking at all the little bits of artwork and stuff. Here's a little Vmon line. And there we've got Melagurumon kicking the shit out of Toyagama for some reason. Some more models. Sketches. Yeah, but they're great books. You can get them on eBay fairly cheap most of the time. Not too bad. Import charges probably get you, but the book itself is not that expensive. So because it says I haven't got 3, I'm gonna skip into 4. So as you probably pick up, anyone who's into the older Digimon games, they have got different playstyles. So World 1 was like a Monster Raising Tamagotchi style game. World 2 was a dungeon crawler. Kind of like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon would be the best comparison I can think of for that. World 3 was kind of like, I don't want to say Pokemon mainline games, because it's not really. It's got, I suppose, a team. It'd be probably an early version of Cyber Sleuth. It does have mechanics from Pokemon with the gym battles and stuff, but it's not very prominent in the story. It's only, you know, here and there. Then we've got Digimon World 4, which was a fucking weird game. It's a good game in its own right, but it's, as far as Digimon, it's just kind of odd to see them, like they go around with the weapons and stuff. You actually have these weapons in game. It's just weird, but it is fun nonetheless. But I think it's more fun with extra people play it with you. This is where the guidebooks get a little bit blander. It just shows weapons, the stats for the weapons. To be fair, the game is pretty much as bland as this book, to be honest. It's not much to it other than it's so grindy. Like, you have to fight the same area to try and level up. Boss fights are so unfair. It takes so long to get a good weapon or to increase your weapon stats. Digivolving is a fucking pain. I don't think I even got the champion in it when I played it. I didn't play it for long, maybe about 15 hours or so. But yeah, the guide, like I says, not too great. Well, the guide itself has great information, but as far as this layout, in terms of design, not the best. See now, it does have Digivolution stuff back here. Just be the list of Digimon you can get, and your Digivolution table is this. Just for a little bit of comparison. They do have these. This is the art you would have had on the Japanese box art for this game, which was called, I don't think it was called, was it called Digimon Coliseum or something like that? I think it was Digimon Coliseum. I don't think it was called World 4. For some reason, the American Bandai branch and European branch, they just went with World and just kept calling it that. There was this cool little picture here though of Melgromon X Antibody. Moving on from PlayStation games for a bit. This one here actually kind of is PlayStation, because this one down here is PS1 game, Pocket Digimon World, which is actually quite a good game for the Pocket Station. It's a simplified version of Digimon World 1, but playing the game, when you hook up the Pocket Station to the PS1, any battles you've done for the story mode, you unlock concept art, what I think is concept art for the original Digimon World, and including like cutscenes and fucking like sketches and things. It's really cool. It does have a Coliseum itself in it There's 3 versions of the game, each with its own different kind of thing. Some exclusions in each one, something like Pokemon would have had. Like I think Factorial Town is in this one. I'm not too sure about the other 2. I haven't played them much. I can't remember much about them. But same again, you've got some art style, but this is the more mainstream Bandai art from it. Is what they went with, and then some sprite art from the game. Actually, just to show, just be a pocket station. I haven't set it up. I wanted to set it up at some point. I want to do a proper kind of a video on this series of games, but I want to get a hold of the 3rd one, and if I can't, I'll just have to work away with the 2 that I have. There's another game that goes with this that can be played on, is the Digimon Pocket Kulamon, Kalamon over here. It was from the Tamer series. Have no fucking clue what it's about. I've only ever seen box art. It's not that expensive. I think I've seen it for probably about £8 on eBay. But if you look up the top, this has a 2nd game in the guide. So it's kind of a 2 for 1. You've got the Wonder Swan, and that's Digital Partner. So Digital Partner was based on season 2. I haven't played the game properly. I tried to get a ROM of it, but for some reason ROM doesn't play properly. It just crashes after I get to a certain point. I think it's after I get Vmon somewhere, so it's pretty early in the game. But yeah, it's just some anime artwork in it. Some of the artwork that you see in game here. I'm not too sure. Like this here, that's a profile. I don't know if it has any Digivolution, so that's cool. It's actually pretty spot on to the show. Oh, this is cool. So the Pocket Station could actually link up. Sorry, just gonna tilt a bit. So the Pocket Station could actually link up with the Wonder Swan through the, I suppose, an infrared connection here, and you could actually battle them together. It was really fucking cool. But yeah, I haven't played too much of it ever because of the fucking crashes. If anyone knows a fix for that, or where I can get a half decent ROM of it, that would be fantastic. I am considering getting a Wonder Swan because my goal is to kind of get every Digimon game or guide. So yeah, that's that. Moving on to the DS, we have Digimon World Championship, or Digimon Championship in Japan. It's a DS game. It was actually the last game we would have seen over here. I think it came out 2008 over here, but it was the last one we would have seen until Digimon All-Star Rumble. Unfortunately, we got that, but it was a good kind of a tester. It proved to be a good sale for fans and for Bandai, so we managed to get Cyber Sleuth from there on. But let's go through this. So this is more like a Tamagotchi, probably the closest experience to a Tamagotchi, just because of how you feed them, you mind them, you battle them. The premise of the game is there's a tournament that comes up every so often, every couple of years or something. You train up your Digimon, they fight in the tournament, shit happens. It's a good game. I think it's just been looked down on just because of how much like a Tamagotchi it was. For some reason it just didn't sell well, but at the time I don't think Digimon itself was done well. This is some of the sprite art from the game. It actually looks fucking decent, like, do you know? There's Growlmon, that looks really good for Growlmon, like. Greymon. This is the evolution lines here. They do have stats to get them. I think that's actually what this stuff here is be. So this is the Digivolution guides here. The stat requirements would be these little bits of text in here. So it'd be like Kermis, 20 or more Kermis, is that? Yeah, so it's 20 more Kermis there, and that would get from V1 up to Sigemon. A few things like that. Very similar to PS1 gameplay, but it's a nice guidebook, fairly detailed, designed really well. This is what I love about the Japanese ones. They're laid out so fucking well compared to the American ones that we were getting. To be honest, I don't think we even get any American ones or English ones anymore. So it's handy to have these. They're not too hard to translate. If you got used to the symbols, you can kind of understand what they are a little bit better. You don't have to fully understand Japanese to play this game either. You could fucking wing it and play it. It's not too expensive. I think I picked up the game for like 15 quid before. Now that was lucky. I think it is normally about 40 or 50. Here's some more artwork here. Like I said, it's just Bandai standard artwork that everyone would always see before. It's just cool how they divide it up. Next we have Digimon World Redigitize for the PSP. Great one. So the artwork from this game is fucking amazing. Actually, I can't remember the name of the artist. Was it the same artist from Shin Megami Tensei or something? Some more artwork here. Some of this artwork would have been in game as well, like that Agumon there. This then some shots from the game. This like story guide for story, scenery, stuff like that. Explanations, some map work. Digimon you can find in those areas. Trying to get the evolution guide. Evolution guide in these games. Oh yeah, it's actually real cool. There was like a Digimon manga for the game, and it was the first issue was actually included in the guide. I have the manga. This would be the mangas, then the 2 full versions of the manga. Encode, volume 1 and 2, so that is the complete version. There's only 2 volumes, but I've tried to read these so many times. I get to like issue 2 and my concentration just goes. It's a fucking shame. I really need to start learning Japanese a bit better than what I actually am, because it is a fucking decent game and the story seems to be really fucking good for what I can read of it. But yeah, I'd say if you can pick these up, try can. Even if it's just to collect for the art, it's fucking amazing. But yeah, so back to the guide here. Oh yeah, so here's the guide. Actually, the guide in this one is much better than the 3DS and the layout. You see a 3D model of the Digimon you look for, the stats required. That's actually kind of nice. Some more artwork. Some Coliseum guides. Yeah, but I love the Japanese versions as anything. I think the Japanese versions of all this stuff, like the original stuff, just looks so much fucking better. Not to be a weeb or nothing. So then we got Decode. I'm still fucking pissed off this game never came out over here. I think this was actually the one that kickstarted the petition to get games brought back over here, and it's been neglected. I'm hoping that it can get brought back over. I know Habu-san was on a convention at one point and he says that if there was demand, he has no problem porting games. He says it just takes a little while, just make sure voices are heard. So I'd say just keep an eye. There is a petition going to get this game localized anyways and move for a Switch port. I'll try to find a link to that and put it in the description. But yeah, definitely fucking sign up to that, 'cause this game is unreal. It's a fucking crying shame it never made it over here. It's very reminiscent of the original Digimon World game, as the first one that came back to that style in years. I mean, I think it was 2011 or 2012 when Redigitize came out. This came out the following year or maybe 2 years after. But yeah, unreal fucking game. It's got like so much more content. There's extra Digimon in it. There's extra couple of maps in it. It's a whole fucking new story arc as well. There's fucking the whole X antibody thing. So this is just Digimon stats, what their base stats would be. This isn't actually a Digivolution guide. The Digivolution guide is this. It's a lot more bland. I think it could be just because there's more monsters, just to save on printing. I mean, you can already see the artwork and stuff from here. I suppose if you're in Japan, you wouldn't really need any of the imagery or nothing. It's not too hard to follow. So you'd have, this would be Ikakumon here, this would be all of his forms you can get here, and then this would be, like, what's that, Ultra Kabuterimon would be here, and then this is all the stats required for him here. If you can read it, it's a great fucking guide. It's spot on, it doesn't leave anything out or anything. The fucking artwork is amazing. I don't know, I just can't say much more about it. It's just fucking unreal. Try to get it if you can. this game, this is for Digimon World Next Order for the PS Vita. It's a bit redundant with the international version of Next Order, as it was called in Japan, or over here we just got Next Order. It was a revamped version, kind of, I think it was kind of remade almost. There's extra scenery, stuff like that. Some of the Digimon models has been kind of tweaked a little bit. The mechanics have been changed for Digivolution, just makes them a little bit more spot on for what you want, more accurate. So this guy, I got it just for the art, to be honest, because like I says, the artwork for these games is why you get this. I mean, look at the fucking poster that comes with this shit, like, you know. I'd love to cut it out and hang it up, but fuck, why would you? Some Royal Knight stuff. Some more artwork from the game, some models. Some maps. I mean, these things have everything you want for these games. It's a shame they don't do much of these anymore. At least I don't see much of them anymore. I've been trying to track down a Cybersleuth one. I've seen it going around. I don't know if it's fan made, I don't know if it's Bandai made, but I just want to get it for the collection. I just find it so fucking hard to find. There was Cybersleuth manga as well. I'm trying to pick that up. Mangas, I've not been fucking having a great look with it. This is, what's this? Oh, so this is a code that would have been there for the game to get some extra stuff. Me not being from Japan, couldn't claim it. I'm not gonna fucking tear it apart to be able to get all that stuff either. Do you know? Some more evolution guides here. Again, it's more bland, but if you look a little bit closer there, I don't know if we could try and put one up to the camera. You see the sprite for the Digimon you're looking for. Focus, please. Focus. So you can see the sprites and stuff. It's a fucking great collection, honestly. Some more sprite work down the bottom. Some models. And sprite work in there as well. I do like sprite work in Digimon. I'd love to see... sorry, I have one lying around here, so just get one of these with fucking colour. It'd be so nice. Yeah, he fucking died. I neglected him. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's my collection of Digimon game guides. I hope to increase it a bit more, same with my games and stuff like that. I want to do an update on the collection of games I have. I have an awful lot more since my last video of them, but just trying to find time to get it done. But anyways, thanks for watching, subscribe, like, all that, and I will see you again. Thank you, bye bye.